Today, my task is to introduce this soldier, this wonderful soldier who has done some great things in his life. And we are fortunate to have him today, and Vicki asked the right person to be here at the right time to tell us a little bit about his story and what has taken place and transpired in his life. This soldier's name is Michael Waldrop. He is a Central Florida resident and a former United States Army infantry captain who served in southern Afghanistan in support of Operations Enduring Freedom. Normally, I don't read the entire bio or resume of folks I introduce, but in this particular case, it's very important for you to understand what the soldier has gone through. And I will read. Along with 3 senior non-commissioned officers, Waldrop commanded an Afghanistan National Army Rifle Company comprising of 60 foreign soldiers. He commanded his men in all major combat operations during the summer and fall of 2006. And in the spring of 2007, he was wounded in July of 2006 during the Battle of Pangwang and is a recipient of the Purple Heart. For action that day, before he was wounded in battle, Waldrop was awarded a Bronze Star for Valor, which is the 4th highest combat award given by the Army for Valor. Michael was recommended by his men and the 3rd Group Special Forces Ground Commander for a 2nd Bronze Star for Valor for actions on November 13th of 2006 during a fierce firefight in Kandahar province of Afghanistan. In 2010, the state of Florida voted to pass a property tax exemption to all service members serving in combat zones with a full tax exemption. Michael Waldrop led this effort from the battlefield in Afghanistan, and it passed with a 3.9 million votes. This idea by Waldrop is a $15 million tax break for our military families in the state of Florida. He is the co-founder of Camaraderie Foundation, a nonprofit which serves military families and veterans in providing private professional counseling assistance. The Camaraderie Foundation is currently assisting many family members, military family members, with mental health support and also spiritual counseling to assist them with adjustment for homes from the battlefield. Camaraderie has grown to serve in 9 states and is on a mission to save lives, families, marriages within our armed forces and other countries' veterans. In his professional life, Michael operates Blue Cord Design and Construction, an Orlando-based construction company that he founded in 2008 upon returning home from Afghanistan. His passion for Blue Cord is to build a small business in and around veterans. He wants to assist in giving jobs and business opportunities for our returning service members. Waldrop has been selected by his church, First Presbyterian Church of Orlando, to serve as an elder. He has also recently been appointed by Mayor Buddy Dyer to chair the Orlando Veterans Advisory Council. As I've already said, he has numerous awards. There are several here. I will not read them all, but of notary, he has received the Florida State Spirit of Achievement Award in 2009. He has also received from Central Florida of the Week Award from CF News Channel 13 in 2009. Of course, you know, you received this Bronze Star of Valor twice, and they don't give those out for no reason at all. He has really been in deep, we call it deep kimchi in Afghanistan, and he has fought his way and saving his troops along the way, and that is commendable. Now, one thing I saw, Elder Captain Waldrop, on your resume that's not on here, Clemson University, I saw that. I'm from South Carolina, so I understand what Clemson University, those Tigers, is all about. So it's good that you know a little bit about South Carolina. One other note is in the Army, they tell you the old KISS. They say KISS. You know, KISS is keep it simple, stupid. And so I'm going to try to keep it simple today by introducing this great soldier. Please join me in welcoming him to the podium today, Michael Waldrop.
Too much. Thank you for the warm introduction. I'll start today trying to get your attention here in a minute, but I'll start and give you a little bit of background. I went to Clemson University, go Tigers for all you Noles out there this weekend, but I enlisted, I thought I had the world figured out. I made a 3.7 my first semester. My second semester, knowing that I had the world figured out, I joined a fraternity and made a 1.1. And I thought that the prudent thing to do was to enlist in the United States Army Infantry. And I did such. Was able to finish my degree at Clemson, go through officer candidate school, and serve as a young infantry officer in Fort Benning and Fort Stewart, Georgia. I entered the business world and got out of the Army pre-September 11th. And I had a wonderful pleasure of spending 12 years in the construction industry, starting out in the field as a foreman and superintendent, learning project management, scheduling, permitting, design coordination, really all facets of the industry itself, and was in a pretty secure situation at the time. And then in 2006, I got orders back to active duty for a unique mission in southern Afghanistan in the Kandahar and Helmand provinces. We spent 13 months there, either liberating villages from Taliban control or chasing high-value targets for about 13 months. I was wounded in the first month while I was there, went to the Trauma 1 Center in Kandahar, had surgery, healed up, returned back to my men, and finished our mission. I just want to kind of give you, and I know there's a lot of veterans in the room, but kind of give you a little bit of a wake-up call. This is just one of our short engagements that we had with enemy insurgents, and I'll kind of paint the picture for you, because really the motto of my talk today is moving towards the sound of gunfire. This is a 50 caliber machine gun. As many of you know, we were ambushed by radical Islamic extremists about 300 yards to our front in a couple compounds, and we immediately got on the net, the radio, and called in a TIC, which is troops in contact. And the moment we call in a TIC, we're trying to get air assets and whatever assets that are in the region to our area to assist. Now, we knew as infantrymen that we'd need to move across this open terrain and assault that objective and clear the area. Well, like I said, it was open terrain. So we positioned ourselves behind this wall and we began to paint the target with lead. Immediately thereafter, within minutes, from the USS Eisenhower in the Arabian Sea, 2 F-18 Super Hornets came on station. The first words out of the commander, the naval aviator's mouth, was his rules of engagement. He told me that he couldn't fly below 3,000 feet. I told him to go home. And I knew that flying at 600 miles an hour between me, where I was, and where the enemy was, one little slight hair of the trigger, we'd take friendly fire. And I pleaded with him, and he pleaded with the aircraft carrier, and he wanted to help so desperately, so badly. He knew the condition on the ground. He could hear the 50 cal and the RPGs and the PKMs and all the weapons going off, and he was just desperate to help. And he finally came back, and I said, Commander, I said, you just make sure that USS Eisenhower knows that we're going to assault this objective with or without you. We're going to move across open terrain, and we're going to probably take casualties if I can't suppress this enemy. And he said, you know what, Captain, the hell with the rules. I'm coming in at treetop level. I'm coming in blazing with cannons. Just hold on. So I broke the video camera out. So he asked me, he said,
come back here, we're going to stage here.
For me to know where you are and where the enemy is, just paint the target with that lead. Just let me know, so when I'm flying overhead, I can see exactly where your position is, so I don't take your forces and put them in any danger at all. you increase that
Straight
volume?
fucking gun. 20 Mike Mike.
Oh, he's coming in hot.
Check it out right there.
Sorry about the language. That's one brave naval aviator right there. Treetop level, blazing. We hit him from every angle. We dropped a 1,000-pound JDAM on the objective, and
Hey, do have the Roger. I wish I could do more for you, but that's our government policy. Sorry, over. Roger. Hey, no worries. Can you just trail me, and my rear security will be with you, and if we need you, I'll call you forward.
All right, we're going on the assault.
so this naval aviator who moved to the sound of gunfire, we were able to assault this objective, clear it, and we ended up taking some, we captured some insurgents at the same time, but we didn't take any casualties because this brave man knew that we needed help, and he took it upon himself and took the initiative to do so. You know, you got to love the sound of a 50 cal in the morning, so I just wanted to get your attention there. As I came home in the summer of 2007, I went back to a pretty, what I felt, a very secure situation, even on the brink of a recession, even though in the construction industry, probably the most hardest hit industry of this recession. I felt pretty secure in my position. Someone came along and whispered to me this service-disabled, veteran-owned small business program, and it caught my attention, because it seemed like there was a small business program out there that a dumb grunt like me may actually qualify for. And I did months and months of research. I really tried to understand what the enemy situation was like, who my competition was, what they were doing, what advantages would I have. I really investigated and researched the opportunities out there. I really looked at the strengths and weaknesses that I felt that an organization led by myself may have. And on, again, a brink of a recession, here I am, you know, just a dumb Clemson grad starting my own construction business in 2008. I had a lot of pain in that process. And one of my key takeaways today is to get the right small business expertise and advice from mentors out there. When I first developed this dream, and my dream was to build a business in and around veterans. That was my dream. That's my passion, and it still exists today. I went out and sought our typical corporate tax attorney and wanted to have him help me, guide me through this process of structuring this business entity. He had no idea what the federal regulations said about the program, had no small business expertise whatsoever. And I can tell you, I went through a 6-month, you think combat's stressful? I'm about to lose the only dream that I had at the time. We were beginning to be successful. We were protested. We were appealed. We were investigated. We were audited. We were probed. we weren't set up right. Unbeknownst to anything that we were trying to do, we weren't set up right. I went through interviews with 3 or 4 different law firms, and I finally found one that, again, I keep in touch with today, and I'll touch on relationships here in a minute, but finally found one that knew the FAR. And you know what I realized for me and my weakness? I didn't read the FAR. I didn't understand it. But you go through that stressful situation and you're about to lose every dream that you have, you become an expert real quick. And I'm proud to say that I probably know the FAR better than I ever wanted to, but I know it better than most attorneys as well. And through that 6-month process and that ordeal, and those challenges that I went through, I mean, I can't tell you the stress that was involved. I mean, I almost lost a dream. I almost just pulled the plug on the program. Well, I woke up one morning and I took a leap of faith and I said, you know what? Why the heck can't I go start my own small business? Why can't I make it work? Why can't I cut all these ties and put everything I've got into this now that I know how to do it properly? And we did that. Our first year, this is our 4th year. Our first year we did about $250,000 worth of revenue. It was me and 2 other employees. Our second year we did about $2.5 million worth of revenue. Our third was 6. This year we'll do $10 to $12 million worth of revenue. Next year we stand to do $15 to $20 million worth of revenue with 16 employees with 10 veterans on our staff. So in the brink of thank you. On the brink of a recession in the most hardest hit industry out there, I feel like we're living towards our passion. Now, we've left the launch pad and we're moving, but we're nowhere near an orbit and nowhere near crashing and burning. But you know what? We've given 10 job opportunities over the last 3 years in the construction industry to young, brave men and women that have fought our country from Vietnam to Afghanistan. And that's exactly what we do at Blue Cord. Along the way, I felt like what was important and what I instill in my employees every single day is relationships. And it's a buzzword that everyone uses. You know, relationships are so important. Well, you know what? All the textbooks, and I studied sales, I studied marketing, I studied accounting, I studied business management, I studied operations management, I studied economics, but no professor and no textbook ever taught me how important it was to establish a relationship with my banker, my surety, my insurance representative, establish a relationship with my IT rep. You know how critical that IT tech is to the operations of our business? No one taught me what it was like to establish those relationships, and I felt like, looking at me, you may take this the wrong way, but I'm a young guy with a young business, but I felt like we needed to get back to the old school way of doing business. And what I mean by that is we treat each other fairly, and we establish relationships. And I'm in the construction business, I had to go develop an A-list of everything from electricians to mechanical contractors to plumbers to roofers to carpenters to dirt people to everyone. And you know what? When I called them, I said, hey, I'm Michael with Blue Cord, the response I got was, you're who? With what? And I knew that those relationships were going to be critical to the success of our business. And I went to each and every one of those, and I still continue to do so. I talk to my banker once a month. I talk to my insurance rep once every couple of weeks. I go see my surety very, very regularly. And, you know, no textbook teaches you to do that, but I felt that that was important, and it was critical to the success of our business. So with some of those philosophies and values, I also saw, being in a new small business program, that another value was legitimacy. Don't make the same mistakes that I've made. If you're out there thinking about starting a venture or in a venture, make sure you're structured properly. Legitimacy, in at least our program in the veteran business community, is actually a competitive advantage, because I bet you I could poll every single one of you and you see the fraud that's out there. You see the illegitimacies out there. Those contracting officers are, they can only do so much due diligence, and if they know that you're a sure thing, that actually helps. But relationships, following the dream, was very, very important to me, and then living towards our passion, providing job and business opportunities for our country's veterans. I stayed in the construction industry because I also felt like an important thing for me was to stay in my lane. Throughout the years, I've had every big boy contractor in town, in the world, come court us and talk to us about different strategic partnerships and ventures and everything else. And you know what? I've never made one of those opportunities work. Again, it wasn't my lane. I'm not a joint venture expert. I'm not this. I'm not that. And you know what? I'm not a shell. I'm not a broker. I want to put people to work. And if you're not willing to pay me the value and the fair market value to put people to work, then, you know, I'm going to do it our way. And so I thought that was very important, because I can tell you those first couple of years, I was begging for revenue. I needed every dime we could make. I put every penny I own into this business, and every ounce of my energy and soul into this business. Financial statements. I tell you, I really enjoy, it's almost a hobby of mine, of not only reading financial statements, but understanding them. And I took those economics classes. I took those accounting classes. And you know what? I learned how quickly and how ignorant I was until it was my own money. And I'm not talking about just being able to read them. And again, this is because I'm blessed with an opportunity to have a mentor out there that taught me what affects change on a balance sheet. What relationships exist on that balance sheet. If I can cut down my receivables by 10 days, look at my cash flow 12 months from now. I didn't understand that, but again, I was blessed with an opportunity of someone who kind of coached me through that, and you know what, I enjoy it now. And I felt like reading and understanding financial statements, a lot of people have dreams and a lot of people have passions, but a lot of people have gone broke over the years. And that's probably one big reason right there. Again, we're in the model right now. We're trying to sustain that ship. We're trying to get into orbit. Nowhere are we near there. The other thing in my philosophies and values with not only the vendors and the contractors that we deal with, which by the way, we treat like our clients, is the fact that when you tell me something, do it. And with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury and other things of coming home from the battlefield, one of the biggest challenges that I had was people looking me in the eye or telling me over the telephone that they're going to have something done for me by the end of the week. And you know what? 2 weeks goes by and I haven't heard a thing from them. And, you know, it just drives me absolutely crazy. What do you all warriors do? What did we do? What was our principles? We did 3 things. We gave orders, we took orders, and we accomplished the mission. And you know what? We didn't give you any daggum excuses in the meantime. I didn't call you and ask you for an extension. When I had to clear that objective, we were going to clear that objective, and we were going to do it in the time frame that we needed to do it. So what was important to me of these philosophies and values was these relationships, that they understood that those were the links that I was going to go from my client. And you know what? If they got a leaky roof, I'm going to respond, and I'm going to respond better than anyone. When they say jump, I'm jumping quicker, I'm jumping stronger, I'm jumping longer, and I'm going to jump. And I felt like that relentless pursuit of following up was important, because it would just really dig at me when someone looks me in the eye and says, you know, we're going to have that done by the end of the week. Circumstances and issues happen, and I understand that. But when you don't communicate to me, when we can't come up with another alternative plan to accomplish the mission, it just digs at me. And that's why I felt like our values and our philosophies needed to be working with other like-minded individuals, veteran or not. And again, that was part of some of my philosophies and values going into this. I think I mentioned we've got about 16 employees right now. We're looking to hire 2 more between now and the end of the year. If you're a veteran in the room looking for employment, I don't know if I can give it to you, but please call me, email me. I'll take the shirt off my back to try to help. If you're a veteran out there that's looking to start a venture or get a venture going, or whatever I can do, please, I'm here, and I would do anything to assist another veteran and the veteran business community. All right, last thing, and I think most importantly, is to, am I okay on time, Vicki? It's 9:15, so I'll wrap this up. And this is what I'm most passionate about, is be an advocate. I am so sick and tired of these politicians telling me that they create jobs. Politicians in government doesn't create jobs. You know, entrepreneurs in this room create jobs, not politicians. And I'm to everyone from our governor to our legislatures to our congressmen and congresswomen and to our presidential candidates tell me and promise me they're going to create jobs. They don't create jobs. We do. The entrepreneurs create jobs. That's what we do. What they need to do is facilitate the opportunities for us and get the hell out of the way. And I'm so passionate about this. I met with another competitor of mine yesterday, and a peer, and we started our business at the same time, and we've developed a pretty good, hearty relationship, and we bounce ideas off of each other. We compete against each other, but you know, he's a like-minded individual, and he said, you know what, Michael, I appreciate what you do out there in the community, trying to create other opportunities, this, that, and the other, but you know what, that's not me. I'm flying under the radar screen. I'm going to try to make my business as profitable as I can make it over the next 5 years. That's what I do. I said, you've got no purpose, man. Your only purpose is yourself. We have got to create a coalition. And again, I'll give you 3 examples. First example, Orange County government. Orange County government, 24% of their dollars goes towards small businesses. You know what they do for veterans? Nada. Nothing. Zip. So I felt like maybe that was just because they weren't aware that they can do more for our veteran business community. So I took it upon myself, little old Michael Waldrop and little old Blue Cord Design and Construction. I went and kicked doors in. That's one thing I can do. And I kicked doors into the county commission and into the mayor, and I said, you got to do more for the veteran business community. Look at the statistics. And you know what? Provide the opportunities, get the hell out of the way. We will create the jobs. And guess who we're going to hire more than often? We're going to hire other veterans. Those brave men and women that probably deserve it the most. And those brave men and women that their unemployment rates are skyrocketing and well above the national and local average. So we made change. Orange County government now has a small business program for veterans. Before, it was nothing. I got a call, and this goes to the state, this goes to the local governments, this goes to our local government agencies, this goes towards our large corporations out there, that they need to do more for the veteran business community. They've got to do more. They've got to facilitate these opportunities, and we can create success, and we can create jobs, and we can create opportunities for other veterans. UCF. Someone set up a meeting with me in the University of Central Florida Facilities Department, and I'm just little old Michael Waldrop in blue cord. They don't do a thing for veterans, and I walked in there thinking this is going to be an absolute waste of my time. Little did I know in that facilities department were other veterans. And I did know that they have a requirement for other small businesses that they mandate all of their dollars goes towards, but they do nothing for veterans. So I went and told my passion and told my story. And next thing you know, I got on a continuing contract because I think that they saw the passion, and I think that they saw the opportunities in what I was trying to do, and they were like-minded individuals. They don't have any mandates, but I tell you what, if you're a large contractor and you're trying to win work with UCF, they're highly encouraging you to get the veteran business community involved. We need to do more of that. We need to consolidate, we need to organize, and we need to create those opportunities out there with our school districts, our airports, our expressway authorities, our roads, our local governments, and our corporations, large corporations out there for small veteran business owners. And I am so passionate about that. And you know what? That may be some purpose of myself, but you know what? We're going to leave a legacy for these veterans to be able to create opportunities out there and create jobs. And all I can tell you is to be an advocate. I couldn't believe my friend when he told me all he was concerned about was trying to have his profits increase as high as he can make it and walk away with a certain amount of money after 5 years. That's got no purpose. And what I mean by purpose, and when we established a purpose for Blue Cord, was why is it we exist? Why are we here? Why are we on this world? Why are we in this society? It ain't for me, and it ain't for you. It's something broader than that. And I know each of you are here because you either have a dream or you're building a dream. Well, as we're building those dreams, we need to figure out our purpose. Why do we exist? Who are we to serve? It was real easy for me. It's the veteran community. And I think that it could be real easy for many of you here today, too. So I think that's all I was going to say. I really appreciate y'all putting up with me, and y'all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate your passion. We appreciate your advocacy and sharing your story with us today. The SBDC is always very proud to work with veterans and with veterans who are building business and creating jobs. So on behalf of the Small Business Development Center, we present you with this plaque for being with us today.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you. Thanks for all you're doing.